Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland BROWNS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, you probably noticed that the Cleveland Browns are quietly, but seriously, evaluating their options as they gear up for what could be a pivotal season. While they aren't in the market of being sellers just yet, there's a buzz around the league that some teams are eyeing Browns players, and one name that's popping up more and more is cornerback Greg Newsome. Yeah, you heard that right. Newsome, one of the most promising young defensive backs in Cleveland, might be on the trade block come 2025. Now, this isn't something confirmed outright, but according to industry sources, Newsome could be available if the right offer comes along. And interestingly enough, the Atlanta Falcons are reportedly one of the teams that could make a move for him. Why would Atlanta be interested? Well, it's pretty straightforward. The Falcons, despite having a solid secondary, are always looking to add talent and improve their defense, especially in the secondary, which has been a bit of a mixed bag in recent seasons. Currently, they benefit from the presence of A.J. Terrell and Mike Hughes, but behind them, there's depth with players like Billy Bowman Jr. and D.L. Ford. So the question is, do they really need Newsome? Not necessarily, but adding a player of his caliber could certainly make an impact, especially when you consider the potential scenery change for Newsome and how that could boost his confidence and performance. However, it's not just about the Falcons. The NFL is a business, and teams are always weighing their options, especially when it comes to younger players who might be approaching a contract year or whose value might be on the rise. For the Browns, the situation is a bit different. They're still in the process of building their identity, especially on offense, where the quarterback position remains unsettled. Right now, Cleveland is trying to figure out whether Joe Flacco, Dillon Gabriel, or even Shedeur Sanders will be their long-term guy. That's a big question mark, and it's affecting their overall strategy. If the Browns don't see themselves as playoff contenders just yet, well, that could open the door for some roster shakeups. And that brings us to Newsome. With the team still in a kind of transitional phase, there's a real possibility that Cleveland could entertain offers for him, especially if they believe they might get a good return that could help them accelerate their rebuild. Remember, the Browns have been aggressive in recent seasons, making moves to bolster their roster, and trading Newsome could be part of that strategy if the right offer comes along. Think about it. Cleveland has already added depth in other areas, and if they decide to go full rebuild mode, trading a promising young player like Newsome might be on their radar. Now, it's worth mentioning that Newsome isn't just some bench player. He's shown flashes of elite potential. He's a versatile corner, capable of playing in multiple defensive schemes, and he's already proven to be a reliable part of Cleveland's secondary. Last season, he was a key piece in their defense, and he's only going to get better. That's why teams like Atlanta, or even others like Washington or Minnesota, could be interested. These teams are always looking to improve their secondary, and Newsome fits that mold perfectly. Let's talk about the Falcons for a moment. They've had a decent secondary lately, but they're always looking to add that extra piece to push them over the edge. They're not desperate, far from it. But if Cleveland is willing to listen, and if the price is right, the Falcons might see Newsome as a player who could slot right in and make an immediate impact. Especially considering his youth and talent, he could help Atlanta compete in a division that's getting more competitive each season. It's not just about filling a gap. It's about adding a playmaker who can change the dynamic of their secondary. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's look at the bigger picture in the league. The secondary units are crucial in today's NFL, and teams are constantly trying to find that perfect mix of young talent and veteran experience. The Browns, for example, are still trying to develop their defensive scheme and see which players can step up long-term. Trading Newsome would be a bold move, but not unprecedented. What makes it intriguing is that Cleveland might be in a position where they want to see how their young players develop, and if the season doesn't go as planned, they could decide to hit the reset button. That's where other teams come into play. The Washington Commanders, for instance, have already taken steps this offseason by signing Jonathan Jones to add depth in their secondary. They've got Trey Amos, Marshawn Lattimore, and Mike Sainristil emerging as starters, but they're always looking to boost their roster for a playoff push. Adding a player like Newsome could be exactly what they need before the postseason, someone who can step into a starting role and make an immediate difference. The Commanders are known for being aggressive when it comes to trades, and last year, they pulled off a big move with Marshawn Lattimore from the Saints. If Cleveland decides to part ways with Newsome, Washington could be a prime destination, especially if they see him as someone who can step in and contribute right away. And then there are the Minnesota Vikings. They've been quite active this offseason, signing Isaiah Rodgers, who brings speed and versatility to their offense and special teams. But their secondary is an area they're still willing to improve. With Byron Murphy anchoring the unit, they could benefit from adding a talented young corner like Newsome. The Vikings have a history of developing secondary players and maximizing their potential, and Newsome could be a perfect fit. They might not need him to be a star right away, but his presence could add depth and competition, which is vital in a league where injuries and rotations are part of the game. On the flip side, we have the New Orleans Saints, who have struggled quite a bit defensively last season. Their secondary was among the league's worst, and between Kool-Aid McKinstry and Alontae Taylor, they're trying to rebuild that unit. If those players don't step up to fill the shoes of the previous stars, trading for Newsome could be a strategic move. He's young, talented, and has the potential to be a cornerstone in their secondary for years to come. It's a long shot, but teams like the Saints are willing to take those risks if it means improving their defense. So, what does this all mean for Cleveland Browns fans? Well, it's clear that the team is in a kind of limbo right now. They're trying to find their identity, and part of that process involves evaluating their roster and making tough decisions. Newsome's name is floating around the trade rumors, and while it's not certain he'll be moved, it's enough to keep fans on their toes. Cleveland has a talented core, but they're also aware that they need to be strategic in how they build their team for the future. And if that means trading away a young, promising player like Newsome for the right return, so be it. This situation also underscores the importance of patience and strategic planning in the NFL. Sometimes, teams have to make tough choices to accelerate their rebuild or to pivot towards a different direction. Cleveland fans have seen their team make bold moves before, and while it's never easy to see a rising star go, you have to trust the front office to make the best decision for the long-term success of the franchise. And let's not forget, Cleveland's defense has shown flashes of brilliance, and Newsome has been a big part of that. If he does get traded, it's going to be interesting to see how Cleveland's secondary evolves and whether they can find that next young star to step up. Of course, all of this is hypothetical for now. The trade window isn't open, and nothing is set in stone, but it's exciting to think about how these pieces could move around the league in the coming months. The NFL offseason is always full of surprises, and the Browns are no strangers to making bold moves when the time comes. Whether Newsome stays in Cleveland or moves to another team, what's clear is that his future, and the future of Cleveland's defense, is one to watch closely. As fans, we love a good story, especially one involving our team and the potential for change. It's that anticipation, that hope for the next step forward, that keeps us glued to the league. So keep your eyes peeled, because this offseason could bring some unexpected twists, and Cleveland Browns fans might just be at the center of it all. Remember, the NFL is a game of inches and moments, and sometimes a single trade or signing can alter the entire landscape. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. Do you think Newsome will stay, or do you believe a trade is inevitable? Who do you think would be the best fit for him if he moves on? Let us know. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and we're here to bring you all the latest and greatest, so make sure to subscribe, share, and stay engaged. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Browns!